Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 5th of April. It's a Friday, and yes, tonight was NXT TakeOver New York. Show was very, very good. I didn't see much that I did not like. There's a couple things here and there that I can nitpick and be like, that could have been different, or maybe not on that one. Excuse me. But overall, great show. I'm probably going to get a little bit of heat when I say that the main event wasn't quite a 5 stars. I think it was more like 4 and 3/4. I think there could have been just a little bit something different they could have done in there. I just feel like, yeah, the undisputed. Well, I'll talk about it when we get to it. Liam Irvine, I'm from America. I don't get that joke. So just letting you guys trickle into the live chat as we get going here. So far we've got MBTX Maud, Jeff Guevara, Luke My Mini Clips, Liam Irvine, Franco Yuri, Woken King Slender, Kristen McNutt, Derek Bocek, Gabriel Perez. What's going on, everybody? So... Woken King Slash says nothing less than 4-star matches on the show tonight. That's a tough one. I can maybe give the women's match 4. But that's one of the matches I would nitpick, and it all has to do with Bianca Belair. I'll just say it now. Bianca Belair needs to stop telegraphing that she's doing something different than she's actually doing. Like when she's setting up for a move that she's going to have that move countered, she telegraphs and kind of slowly transitions instead of just letting it happen. So that took it away a little away from me there. She did it a couple of times where she was going for, there was one where she was going for a pin, but instead of actually going for the cover because she knew that she was going to get kicked by Shayna Baszler, she kind of like stayed up on all fours instead of going down for the pin. So it's little things like that when you're on a show that's this great, that's got so many matches that are almost perfect, your slight little imperfections are going to get nitpicked, and Bianca Belair was the one. That's why I said she's just not quite that ready yet. I know I did pick her in my predictions, but I only picked her because I thought other things were going to happen, and I guess those other things are not going to happen. Tony Mattrison, hope I said that right, says Walter is real beast. Oh, Walter's a freaking beast, I tell you what. Walter kill you. Just saying. So just looking at the chat before we do start talking TakeOver. Excuse me. Mini Clip says I didn't care who won as long as it wasn't Bianca. Excuse me. Oh, no, Gorillamon. Gorillamon says, I saw people on Twitter saying Bianca should go to the main roster. Bianca's definitely not ready for the main roster. No. Now, she's not a bad wrestler. I never said that. And I never said anything against her. I just said that she still needs to work on her craft. She still needs to grow as a pro wrestler and learn some things, like not giving away that you're not actually doing what they think is the next move. Hence, when you're going on to pin somebody off of a move that's your finisher, actually go for the pin and not wait for whoever's supposed to break it up to break it up. And that was one thing that really got me. And then there was another one where she had, I'll just say now, she had Shayna Baszler in that like glam slam like move, and she held her up there for just a little too long. And then instead of just letting her go to slam her down like she does, she did the whole thing where she put her arms back around Shayna so Shayna can do the roll through for the cradle. And it's like, as soon as I saw her up there for more than like 5 seconds, I'm like, okay, she ain't slamming her. And then when her arms went around, I'm like, Shayna's reversing it, and she reversed it. Now, we learned tonight why Kairi Sane and Io Shirai are great, why they could go to the main roster right now. They're smooth. But we'll talk about it when we get there. Started off the show was the NXT Tag Team Championship match. And they've done this a lot now, where the tag title match is the opener, and it's just a banger. This was a really good match with a very hot crowd to open up the show. Excuse me. The crowd really stayed hot for most of the show all night. The fans loved both teams here. They really popped for the entrances, especially that cool entrance from the War Raiders. Black and Rowe went back and forth early as they started off the match with some chain wrestling. Rowe had the chance to punch Black, but Black pulled back. It was funny. Morrow kept doing this rhyme where he's like, Black is on his back. Black is on his back. I'm like, Morrow, no. Black then pulled back with a kick. They then tagged in Ricochet and Hansen. And Morrow, I think it was Morrow, he goes, you wouldn't think of it by looking, but these are the high flyers of the teams. I was like, yeah? Well, I mean, Ricochet, you know. But Hansen, he's the bigger of the two. Yet, he did a freaking handspring elbow. Going forward, hot exchanges from Ricochet and Hansen. Hansen blocked everything Ricochet tried early. They sent the War Raiders to the floor, and Black teased a dive. But instead, him and Ricochet sat down, and the crowd went nuts. How the fuck has Aleister Black gotten over sitting down? Like, literally. He just sits down cross-legged, Indian style, and the crowd pops. Almost every single time. How? I don't know. So he and Ricochet posed the War Raiders and isolated Black on their side of the ring. Rowe attempted to slam Hansen onto Black, and Black kicked out under his legs, or kicked away under the legs. Ricochet then got the tag and ran wild for a little while. He hit a standing shooting star press for a near fall on Rowe. Black and Ricochet isolated Rowe on their side of the ring. At one point, the crowd was briefly distracted. Something was going on, I don't know what. Hansen hit a series of running splashes on Ricochet and Black in separate corners across the ring from each other. Hansen charged at Ricochet, but he got caught. Hansen then gave him a follow-away slam. No, my bad. Ricochet gave Hansen a follow-away slam. Rowe and Black exchanged hard knees and kicks in the middle of the ring. Black hit a German suplex on Rowe for a close near fall. Great exchange here between the two. Great exchange. I was reading something in the chat. AJ Rollins, yes, I've seen that. Hansen then avoided Ricochet with a cartwheel. In an awesome spot here, Ricochet attempted a handspring elbow. I talked about this already, kind of. So Ricochet tried the handspring elbow. Excuse me. And Hansen avoided it by doing his own handspring elbow. Like, what? It was great. It only got a 2 count, though. Rowe held up Ricochet, and Hansen nailed him with a springboard clothesline. They both pinned Ricochet, but Black broke up the move with a double foot stomp. Black then hit a moonsault to the floor on Hansen. Rowe followed up with a suicide dive on Black. Ricochet then hit him off with a space-flying tiger drop to the floor. Hansen then hit a senton off the top rope. They teased a double countout, but Rowe and Ricochet got back in at the very last second. So going forward a little bit, a Black hit Rowe with a black mass. Ricochet then hit a shooting star press, only for a near fall, though. Ricochet then attempted the 630, but missed. The War Raiders hit the Thor's hammer. Hansen hit a suicide dive, taking out Black. War Raiders then hit the fallout on Ricochet for the victory. Great match. Then after the match, the War Raiders actually paid respect to Black and Ricochet. They bowed to them, they shook their hands, they gave them hugs, and then they left so they can take in the moment. Crowd chanted, "Thank you." Crowd chanted, "You deserve it," as both men cried before hugging in the middle of the ring because they knew that that was most likely their last time in an NXT ring in front of an NXT crowd. Both men soaked it in. And I thought it was great. Crowd just showed them all the love that they could. And now they move on to the main roster on Sunday. Challenge for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. I thought this was a great moment. And then we saw Piper Niven and Toni Storm in the crowd. So going forward, the NXT North American Championship match, the Velveteen Dream defending against Matt Riddle. This was a hell of a match because it's two guys that couldn't be any more opposite, that their oppositeness is perfect. So Dream got a grand entrance. He was the Statue of Liberty. Or should I? Well, what did Percy call him? I think he's called him the Statue of Dream. I think he called him the Statue of Dreams, something like that. Got a huge reaction. He was carried in on like one of those Caesar kind of deals, like, you know, old Roman times where you got the big old platform and then the four guys holding it. It was pretty cool. He got in the ring. Riddle was already in the ring, and we got dueling bro and Velveteen chants. Velveteen said, "I'm not your bro," and the match began. Dream stomped Riddle's bare feet to take control. Dream sent Riddle to the floor and dove off the top turnbuckle. Riddle caught him in a German suplex. Riddle missed a standing moonsault but hit a senton. He followed it up with a very stiff knee for a near fall. Dream fought back with a German suplex, but Riddle rolled through and landed on his feet. Riddle rocked Dream with a knee and hit a suplex for a 2 count. Riddle then hit Dream with another knee, but Dream then hulked up. Dream was ready to fire up. He's like, "You can't keep me down, bro." He nailed Riddle with a big boot and a running knee. Dream sent Riddle to the floor and nailed him with a double axe handle. Riddle locked on the ankle lock, though. Great transition into the ankle lock. I thought he was going to transition into a Boston Crab because it was like he was down and Velveteen ran at him, like I think it was like with like a kick or something, and he grabbed the leg and rolled through. And I thought he was going to roll through into a Boston Crab. He rolled through up to his feet into an ankle lock. Dream did fight out of it. Dream then hit a Death Valley driver. He attempted the Purple Rainmaker elbow, but Riddle locked on the bro mission. In a crazy spot, like very crazy, Dream was standing on the apron when Riddle jumped to the second rope. Riddle then gave Dream a huge German suplex from the second rope into the ring. So he hits this suplex, and you think, oh my God, Velveteen Dream's hurt. Because Dream just dead weighted. He was just dead. Didn't move. Did nothing. Riddle goes to move him over, and Dream's just like stiff. His arms are just like laying there. Riddle goes to move him over, and his arms like stuck behind him. Because it's the perfect thing you do. It's what you do when you get quote unquote knocked out. Your whole body just dead weights most of the time. Sometimes you go limp, but your body just dead weights. And Riddle played it perfect. Dream played it perfect. So going forward, he then hit the floating bro for a very close near fall. He hit a huge power bomb into a knee for 2. Dream finally got his composure back and was caught in a bro mission, but he rolled through it and pinned Riddle. This was really good. We've seen this kind of deal with Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane before, where you're in the chokehold. This one's not the same. It's not just the normal rear naked choke. It's the bro mission. It's a little bit of a variation. Well, he's got a minute, and he's got a minute, and he's got a minute, and Dream's going to tap, and Dream floats over, rolls over onto him. So Dream's on top of Riddle. Riddle's kind of either I let go of the submission or I might get pinned. He didn't let go, and he got pinned. So it was like he got caught in the end, but it's not like he got knocked out or hit with the Purple Rainmaker. It's not like Dream hit his finisher to really just solidify, I beat you. It was more like, you gave me a good fight, and I caught you. Great finish. I loved it because it kept the title on Dream, but it made Riddle still look good and strong. So then they showed that earlier in the day, Kushida was with Triple H and William Regal as he signed his new contract, officially becoming a member of NXT. I think they should put him, people are going to hate me for this, I think they should put him on and build around him with 205 Live because he's just that great. He was then shown sitting in the crowd, got a huge pop, and it said Kushida. Hopefully they don't change his name. Because remember, when they first showed Asuka, it said Kana. I think that was her name, Kana. When they first showed Ricochet in a crowd, it said Trevor Man. Or Trevor Ricochet Man. So, hopefully they don't change his name by the next TV tapings, which might be Wednesday. I'll look it up. So then we got a match where it was just like, I can do anything, you can do better and harder. It was Pete Dunne and Walter with the WWE United Kingdom Championship on the line. Morrow kept calling it the NXT UK Championship. And Vic Joseph kept trying to nonchalantly and in a non-rude way, correct him. But, Denny, you're the rude one. You're gone. Sorry about that. So this was a great match. Very brutal, hard-hitting action. Fans reacted for both guys. The fans sang Walter's theme song when he came down. Fans popped big for Dunn and broke into a big bruiserweight chant. Started a slow pace, which worked, actually. Traded submission holds. Walter then backed Dunn into the corner. And it missed a chop attempt. Dunn then caught Walter with a forearm. Walter responded with 2 vicious chops that knocked Dunn off his feet. And he chopped Dunn so hard that he hurt his own hand. He literally chopped him. And then he did the whole shake my hand thing ow, that freaking hurt. Dunn got back to his feet and nailed Walter with a clothesline, but Walter didn't move. It's like the old small guy hitting Kane clothesline thing. You hit him, and he doesn't budge. Walter avoided Dunn with a leap of frog. Very, very scary spot because Walter barely got up high enough and Dunn had to duck. He placed Dunn on the top turnbuckle and stood on his head. He pushed him down neck first. Walter then gave Dunn a back suplex on the apron. Dunn applied a heel hook and Walter broke free with chops. Dunn then ran up the turnbuckle into a backflip, but kind of landed wonky. I got a gif of it up on my Twitter if you want to go check that out. He did the whole, I know you're coming at me, so I'm going to be running the same way. I'm going to do the run up the ropes, the turnbuckle, backflip over you. He kind of got it. If Walter wasn't there, he would have just took a flat back bump. Walter kind of took the bump. He landed on his, it was back to back onto Walter, and he just rolled through it. Only real botch I saw for most of the show. Going forward, Dunn then hit a huge running sit-out powerbomb after he tried a finger break spot. Walter then rolled the... oh, my bad. I was reading this wrong. Okay, let me go back. So, Walter attempted a superplex, but Dunn acted as if he was going to do the finger spot, the finger break, which I hate the finger break spot because it's so preposterous. Dunn then hit a huge running sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Walter rolled to the floor. Dunn then hit a double foot stomp from the top to the floor. Not quite the Ace Austin spot from last night's Impact show, but pretty good spot. Walter stomped on Dunn's head and attempted a powerbomb. Dunn landed on his feet and hit it enziguri. Dunn went for a moonsault, but Walter stopped him. He attempted a German suplex, but Dunn fought out. Walter went for a sleeper, but Dunn smashed his fingers on the ring post. Walter fought back and tried to put him in a sleeper again, but then did it to a sleeper. It was like a sleeper into a suplex. So then going forward, Dunn went for a bitter end, but Walter landed on his feet and hit a huge clothesline for a near fall. Dunn fought back and hit a bitter end, but Walter kicked out. The two men then met in the middle as they ran at each other and traded hard strikes. Dunn backed Walter into the ropes and unleashed just a fury of punches. Walter then climbed to the top rope, but Dunn stopped him. Dunn locked in a triangle, but Walter broke it with some chops to the hard chops to the chest, and then in a crazy spot that I thought killed Pete Dunne. I've got the GIF up on my Twitter, at TimmyBuddy, or at PW Unlimited. Walter power bombs Pete Dunne off the top rope. I think Walter may have been a feet on the second rope. But regardless, he's about 9 feet up in the air. And he just comes crashing down, Pete Dunne does. Woo-hoo-hoo. Walter then hits a splash off the top rope to beat Dunne. Become the new champion, beating the 685-day reign. Longest reign of any champion currently, or in the last 5 years, I think it is at least. Crazy. Beat the CM Punk reign. Beat the AJ Lee reign. They then showed Beth Phoenix and Edge. Or should I say Adam? Adam Copeland, that is. Sit in front row. They're sitting front row so they can watch the next match, the NXT Women's Fatal 4-Way. I loved how in the video package for this match, Shayna Baszler goes, you know, NXT, they're afraid to give me one-on-one matches. I've beat everybody in singles matches, so now they want to put 3 women against me? And what did she do? She beat 3 women. I loved that line where she was like, they're afraid to give me singles matches with my title on the line because they know I'll just win. So they think they can put 3 women to beat me. And they didn't. So Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir walked out with Baszler, but then went to the back. This was a pretty good match. A lot of high, fast-paced action. Belair and Baszler cleared the ring early and squared off. Belair had a little advantage early. She attempted to hit Shirai with double knees. Only got a near fall with it, though. Baszler then had a pin, but Sane hit a neck breaker to break it up. Excuse me. Shane and Shirai then worked together for a little while against Belair and Baszler. They rocked Baszler with a double drop kick. And these two working together was a great story. There was a great story with it. Because it was the whole, now we know we got to fight each other at some point, but how about we take the other 2 women out and then we can leave it to just us? But then when it became to just them, they were still a little torn. We'll get there. So Io Shirai and Kairi Sane cleared the ring and went to square off. Sane attempted a head scissors, but Shirai landed on her feet. Baszler then grabbed Belair by the hair and threw her into the corner. Baszler stomped on her elbow. In a cool spot, Baszler tried, so one was on one side of the turnbuckle, and one was on the other on the outside. And Baszler reached kind of like through the ropes and grabbed the long-ass braid of Bianca Belair, and she went to pull Bianca Belair like she was going to pull her shoulder first into the turnbuckle by her hair, and Bianca put her foot up to block it, yanks her head back, and she pulls Shayna shoulder first into the turnbuckle as well, or instead. So the two were fighting at ringside for a little while. Shirai then launched Sane over the top rope in a very cool spot. So Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler are ringside. Kairi Sane bounces off the ropes, runs at Io, and Io grabs her and just throws her up in the air. And then Kairi just goes, I hope someone catches me because I'm coming down butt first. She just crashes right down. And then Io hits a dive. No, my bad, moonsault. Not just the dive, it was the moonsault. And her moonsaults are dangerous. So when you see most people do a moonsault in pro wrestling, they jump up and then out to get the height. Io just jumps out. She doesn't care about height. She's just like a, instead of like a, I wish I was on camera for this so I can kind of demonstrate what I'm trying to say here. Hold on. I got to do this. Hold on, guys. Because, where am I? Let's see if I can do this. Because I gotta demonstrate this for a second. Give me one quick second, guys. Because the way she does this, it's just... Let's see if I can demonstrate it with my hands. It's not going to be the best looking camera cut, but hey, it'll do. All right. So usually, pretend my microphone here is the turnbuckle and the person's my fingers. Usually, when somebody... Actually, hold on. Give me Eddie Guerrero here, and I'm going to use Eddie Guerrero for reference. Usually, when someone does a moonsault, they jump up and out. When Io does it, she just goes out. So she's more like, instead of jumping, making sure you've got enough height so you can clear going out, she's just, whoop, and it's just a fluid motion, just like it's like she's falling, but not falling. It's very weird. And I know what I just did there was a little weird, but hey, it all works. You gotta sometimes you can't demonstrate with just words, so it's all good. So going forward, she hits that moonsault to the outside. They then throw Io and Kairi throw Bianca Belair in the ring, and Belair actually fights back against the two. She knocks Kairi out of the ring, and then she takes Io and military press slams her over the top rope to the outside on both Baszler and Sane. Belair then went for a double underhook chicken wing, but Baszler locked on the... how do you say this? I heard Morrow say it twice. Kerfuda? Clutch? Something like that. It's a choke. Baszler fought to her feet and broke free. Or Belair, my bad. Belair broke free. She then hit the KOD, but Kairi Sane and Io Shirai broke up the pin. Shirai then ran wild and hit a moonsault on Baszler, but Sane broke up that pin. And she breaks up the pin, and Io looks at her like, were you supposed to do that? It's like that old joke. You kicked my dog. It's like, you don't know what to think. The person that you were working with just prevented you from winning. So Io goes, oh, that's the game you want to play. So Kairi takes a little advantage. She knocks down Baszler, hits her with the insane elbow off the top rope, goes for the pin 1, 2, and then Io breaks it up. So Io and Kairi start countering each other's moves, and this is pretty smooth counter wrestling here until Sane gets countered into a slick-looking DDT. Sane went up top, but Belair whipped her with her hair. I know what you guys are going to say when I say this. The hair thing is dumb. It should be a disqualification. It's like using a weapon. It's like grabbing a steel chair or a kendo stick and hitting your opponent with it. But I know when I say that, everybody always goes, well, then why isn't putting somebody through the announce table a disqualification? And I can go on for 5 minutes as to why not. But I just think that this whole hair whip thing, it's stupid. I get it. She's a heel. And it's a heel thing to do, but to do it right in front of the ref while the ref's looking, and him not to say don't do that again, or him not to say that's a disqualification, it's just dumb. I get when people go, but it's different. It's part of her. It's like if you were just to hit somebody with your arm. It's just an extension of her. No. So, anyways, excuse me. Belair then gets Io Shirai, puts her on her shoulders, takes Kairi off the top rope, puts her on her shoulders, hits a double KOD. And then she's going for the pin. I talked about this earlier. She's going for the pin on Kairi Sane. So she musters over, rolls Kairi over. Kairi's dead weighted. She's struggling to roll her over, which is fine because she's knocked out. But then instead of laying on Kairi and hooking a leg or something, she's like got her hands to where her chest and from her chest up is elevated up, because she was supposed to be in the position to get kneed in the face by Shayna Baszler. When you're looking like you're going to the finish, when you hit your finisher and then you go for the pin, make it look like you're going for the pin and not waiting for whoever's supposed to come in to hit their next spot. So she gets kneed in the face, put in the clutch, pinned or submitted, boom. I was shocked that Shayna Baszler retained. I was really shocked that Shayna Baszler kept her title. So Shayna Baszler's still NXT Women's Champion. Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir came out to celebrate with her on the ramp. And then we moved to the main event, ladies and gents. was this a great match. I made a little joke saying that Johnny Gargano was dressed as Iron Man tonight. Too bad this wasn't an Iron Man match. So I was shocked when we go through the entrances. They do the graphic that's got the big, 3D championship. And all of a sudden you hear, Adam Cole, Adam Cole, Adam Cole. The crowd's all Adam Cole for a lot of this match, not just early on. I was shocked at that one. So they started off with a little bit of mat wrestling. Cole locked on a side headlock and slowed the pace down a little bit. They traded pin attempts, but Gargano took over with an arm drag. Cole dropped down, but Gargano went for a Gargano stretch. Gargano sent Cole to the floor. Cole avoided a knee, but got caught with a dropkick instead. Cole then applied a chin lock and slowed the pace down a little bit. Cole and Gargano both attempted cross bodies and collided right in the middle of the ring. Gargano then landed on the apron and nailed Cole with a spear, one of his diving through the rope spears. Gargano avoided a super kick and hit a flatliner for a 2. Cole regained control with a backstabber. Gargano scored a near fall off of an inside cradle. They both then went for super kicks, but stopped. Gargano super kicked to the knee instead. Here's the thing. The super kick back in the 90s was Shawn Michaels' move. It was his finisher, and it was a move where it's like you get hit with that super kick. A couple of other guys did it, of course, but it's like you get hit with that super kick, you're done. Now, because so many people do the super kick's just the new clothesline, to be honest. Because so many people do it and it leads to nothing. Like, it's the new clothesline. Or DDT. When Jake the Snake first came up with and did the DDT, that was his finish. You get hit with the DDT, you're done. You're out. You're lost. You lost. Now you get hit with the DDT and it's like, oh, I just pop right back up. It's nothing. Now, you get hit with a super kick, I just pop right back up. It's nothing. Like, I don't know if I like that. Because it's like, when you've got a guy like, say, Dolph Ziggler, who uses the super kick as his finish, when you watch the same show and you see, before a Dolph Ziggler match, Kevin Owens, both Usos, and other people all doing super kicks that lead to just more match, and they don't even try to like go up to a pin attempt or anything, it's like, why am I going to see 3 or 4 guys earlier do a bunch of super kicks that really led to nothing, and then I'm going to watch a Dolph Ziggler match and think, oh, if he hits that super kick, it's over. You're not going to think that because the super kick is just the new clothesline. So Gargano super kicked the knee instead. Gargano then went for a sunset flip, but Cole rolled through and hit the last shot, getting the first fall of the 2 out of 3 falls match. So Cole was firmly in control and hit the last shot again, but Gargano kicked out. Gargano fought back and hit a spear off the apron. Cole teased a powerbomb off the top, but Gargano hit the air raid crash for a 2 count. Gargano hit a slingshot DDT on the apron. Gargano had the match won by countout, but broke the count himself. I don't understand why. It's not like Cole's the champ and you have to win by pin or submission to get the title. He could have won the fall just by getting his ass in the ring and not coming back out. But no, he's got to break it up thinking, I'm going to do the noble thing and I'm going to show that I can really win. Which he did, but still. So he breaks up the count. And Cole took over and sent Gargano to the ring post. They traded submission attempts. Gargano locked on the Gargano escape. And quickly, Adam Cole tapped out. And Morrow had a good little thing here. He goes, Adam Cole's already up 1. Gargano taking this fall. It's fine. They're going to go to the final fall. And he says it's fine that they go to the final fall. But it was smart by Adam Cole to tap out really quickly so that submission hold doesn't do any damage to him, or at least doesn't do much damage. It basically is just like, all right, you got me in your submission. I'm gonna fight. No, I'm not gonna fight it. Let me just tap out, and then you have to let go. So that was smart. I love that Morrow explained that, because if he wouldn't have explained that, there probably would have been a lot of fans that was like, man, Cole really tapped out quickly. He was really taking some punishment, though. But no, I love that Morrow explained it of, he just gave up the fall, but didn't really give it up in a bad. He gave up in a good way. It was more like he didn't give up. He got himself out of the submission. So going forward, they traded hard shots in the middle of the ring. Gargano hit a hard clothesline for a near fall. Gargano then started bleeding above his right eye. Gargano sent Cole head first into the second turnbuckle. They hit clotheslines at the same time and hit each other with super kicks. Cole rocked Gargano with a super kick to the back of the head, then hit the straight jacket German suplex for a 2 count. Gargano hit a reverse Hurricane Rana, where goddamn did Adam Cole land on the top of his head and neck at the same time, where he landed on the top of his head, and then I thought his head compacted down. It was, ugh. It just hurts thinking about it. He then hit him with a draping DDT. Gargano attempted a slingshot spear, but Cole hit a super kick. He followed it up with a Canadian Destroyer for a very close near fall. Cole then called Gargano a failure at ringside. Gave him a wheelbarrow German suplex onto the apron. Remember, that's the hardest part of the ring. Gargano then fought back with the draping DDT. Gargano attempted a slingshot spear, but Cole hit him with another super kick. Cole, where was I? Cole then fought back and gave Gargano the fairy tale ending on the announce table. Gargano just barely beat the count back into the ring. Cole rocked Gargano with a super kick. Super close 2 count, 2 1/8. 2.8. Cole then, the two then traded suplexes. Cole went for a Canadian Destroyer again, but Gargano countered into a Gargano stretch. Roderick Strong would then all of a sudden appear on the apron to distract the referee and Johnny Gargano. Gargano got the Gargano stretch back on Adam Cole, and Adam started tapping out. Referee was dealing with Roderick Strong and didn't see Kyle O'Reilly jump into the ring and rake Gargano's eyes. Cole then pushed Gargano into the referee. Referee falls out of the ring, and Kyle O'Reilly looks at Bobby Fish and goes, "It's time." And they hit their high-low on Gargano. They throw the referee back in, and Gargano kicks out barely. He then backdropped Cole on all 3 guys at ringside. Gargano fought off the Undisputed Era. Cole then hit a super kick, and then a super kick to the back of the head, and then the last shot, but Johnny still kicked out. Excuse me. Gargano then locked on the Gargano escape for the submission victory in a very, very good match. I mean, you can give this match 5 stars if you want, but I know there's going to be people that will be like, it's not quite 5, maybe 4 3/4. I think I would be in the 4 3/4 spot. It's just not quite 5 for me. I don't know what it was. There was just something that I felt was a little bit off. So Candice LeRae runs down, and I feel bad for Candice LeRae. I got a little grievance here for a second. So we've seen Candice LeRae in NXT for a little while now. And she's done some things. She's done some things on her own. She's done a lot with her husband, but she's also done a lot just as Johnny Gargano's wife. And if you're an NXT guy, or let me rephrase that. If you're an NXT fan and you had never seen Candice LeRae before NXT, really, to the normal, casual NXT fan, she's not Candice LeRae, this great wrestler that's had amazing matches all over the world. She's just Johnny Gargano's wife. Excuse me. It's just like she doesn't do a lot on her own. She's never really had many real storylines of her own. She's kind of doing one right now, which is just going to lead to a quick match next week. And I feel bad for her that she's not oh, that's Candice LeRae, the wife of Johnny Gargano. It's like we haven't seen her in any sort of prominent role on her own. And I just feel a little bad for her in that regard, that a lot of people just see her in NXT as Johnny Gargano's wife. So she comes down and they celebrate in the ring before walking up the ramp. They're standing at the top of the ramp. They're pandering to the crowd. They're like, thank you for all of this. They took pictures with some guy at ringside that had a big old sign that said Gargano was my champion. And as they're standing up at the top of the ramp, Ciampa comes out. And we can't call him the Black Heart anymore. Ciampa comes out. And Johnny doesn't notice him at first because he's still like looking at the crowd like, we did it, oh yeah. But Candice turns around and sees him. And she's looking at him, but she's got a smile on her face. And Ciampa walks up and he goes over to Johnny, and Johnny turns around and he hugs him. He's like, you deserved this. And I'm like, so surgery also turned him babyface? Is that all we need now to turn a heel babyface is surgery? I mean, it was a cool spot. So he hugs Johnny. He then hugs Candice. He then hugs the two of them together. He raises both Johnny and Candice's arms high in the sky. They hug again. And the show goes off the air with all of them hugging and celebrating. I was like, I liked it, but I really didn't. Because this was a guy that just 3 weeks ago, well, maybe 4 weeks ago, Gargano wanted to kill and take his title. And now they're all buddy cool. Did they have some sort of a heart-to-heart moment after the surgery or something? I don't know. But, I mean, it's nitpicking. So that was NXT TakeOver. I thought it was just an amazing show. Excuse me. Tomorrow night, we've got G1 Supercard from Madison Square Garden. Sunday night, we've got WrestleMania. Monday, we've got Raw. Tuesday, we've got SmackDown. But that's just not today. And we're not done today. Because now, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys thought of tonight's NXT TakeOver. And if you want to give me your thoughts, you can do so by calling in at 559-475-8473, 559-475-8473, or you can text in your questions or your comments at 510-906-1341, 510-906-1341. This person in the text messages says, who can you see challenging the War Raiders next for the tag titles? That's a good one. And that's also a really, really tough one. Because there's not really another established team that can challenge. And, you know, thinking it's like, who are you going to do? The Forgotten Sons, they're going to get squashed. Street Profits, they're more evolved guys right now than NXT guys. So it's like, unless they've got some new tag team coming up we don't know about, I don't see who could be the next challengers. But let's take this call. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim. What's up, man? How are you doing today?
Not much. How are you?
Good. The NXT TakeOver was good. I enjoyed it a lot. So, the main event, it leaves me wondering if the Undisputed Era is going to go to the main roster.
I don't think so, because before the Ciampa injury, they weren't slated to go to the main roster.
Right.
So I don't think just because of the Ciampa injury, they would call all 4 of those guys up now. I always thought the perfect time to do it would be after SummerSlam. You know, SummerSlam weekend would be their 2-year anniversary within the WWE, and then after that would be like a perfect time to call them up. So I don't know if they need to come up now, especially since Adam Cole did do the thing of we all want to have gold at the same time this year in NXT. So they still got to at least try to do that and try to pay that off in some way.
Now, with Matt Riddle losing, do you see him interfering in the Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins match?
No.
Because he said in something that he wanted to go to WrestleMania and pay a visit to the Beast.
I mean, Matt Riddle says a lot of things. I mean, you've got to say things to get people talking about you, and then when you got people talking about you, maybe that makes Triple H and Vince go, what did they say? Ooh, maybe that's an idea. So it's just getting people talking.
Yeah. But Yeah, that tag match was really good, and so now the Ricochet and Aleister Black are officially on the main roster now, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they did at the last TV
Cool.
tapings. They did their farewell speeches saying that they love NXT, that they love Full Sail University, the Full Sail crowd, and that the last tapings
Yeah.
were most likely their last.
So I'll actually be at WrestleMania myself tomorrow. So
Awesome.
yes. So thanks, Tim. Good night, and
Right.
have a good rest of your night.
And have a great night.
And enjoy WrestleMania tomorrow. Yep,
You too.
bye.
Well, Sunday.
All right, bye. Yeah, Sunday. Sorry.
All right. So one thing I forgot to mention, apparently doctors had to check out Ricochet after the tag title match. Towards the end of the match, Ricochet was gesturing to his shoulder, but I heard that he got his shoulder checked out and everything seems to be good. So that's a good sign. Ricochet's good to go for Sunday. Again, if you do want to call in, give me your thoughts, 559-475-8473. You can also text in at 510-907-1341. This person here says, Dunn versus Walter, match of the night. It's either that one or the main event, and it's tough to say. I would probably go... That's tough. Main event. I'd go main event. I like the main event just a little bit better. Julio Oquando says NXT TakeOver should happen at MSG. So here's the thing with MSG and WWE. We know they're going there in September for Raw and SmackDown. But prior to that, in the last 10 years, the reason they haven't gone to MSG for any tapings is because it cost a lot of money. And the Barclays Center was actually giving them a deal to run in Barclays. It's cheaper. Now, the only reason they're going now to do TV is because, ROH and New Japan ran there this year. We got to outdo them and show them we can probably sell out 2 nights in a row. It's not that, MSG's the better arena, this and that. It all depends on what's more viable for the company. What's going to earn them the most money? Running a building that's super expensive to do television in, and you may come out at a negative, or running a building that you're going to get a deal. The building's going to give you a deal because not only are you promoting their building by running your events there, but you're running multiple days. So that's why that took place. I saw somebody in the chat asked if I'm... Where is it at? This person said... I can't find it now, but somebody asked if I was watching Hall of Fame tomorrow. No. Probably not going to watch Hall of Fame because for the fact that I'll be watching G1 Supercard. DeAndre Duke says, Tim, have you been to MSG before? I've never even been to New York. I'm from California. I've been out of the state, of course, a couple of times. I've been to Nevada. I've been to Texas. I've lived in Texas, actually. I've been to South Carolina. I was there for a little while. I was in Virginia for a little while. But those are the only states that I've actually been in. You could say Arizona. You could say New Mexico, because I've driven through them. But states that I've really spent time in: Nevada, California, Texas, South Carolina, Virginia, and of course I've been to Kuwait and Afghanistan and Iraq. But other than that, no, I've never been to MSG. Never even been to New York. D. Nick says, are you going to Double or Nothing? Maybe. We're waiting to see if we get media credentials or not. This person in the text line says, I hope you're having a good night. I have 2 questions. Do you think G1 Supercard or WrestleMania will be better than TakeOver? Also, who will defeat Shayna Baszler for the championship? Well, the Shayna Baszler one probably should be Io Shirai. As far as do I think Mania or G1 Supercard could be better than TakeOver? Probably not as a whole. Because as a whole, there'll probably be some not great matches at G1 Supercard. And, every match tonight, even that women's 4-way, even though I nitpicked it a little, was still a great match. But, at TakeOver, or not TakeOver, but G1 Supercard, you're going to have matches that you were like, oh, that was it? And WrestleMania, we know we're getting that too. I mean, we got 2 Battle Royals. We've got a women's tag team title match. This is going to be probably a little bit of a cluster at times. So, no, I think TakeOver may be the most overall solid show of the weekend. This person here says, can you see Adam Cole getting a rematch for the championship? Maybe down the line. Maybe. But with that, it looks like no one really wants to call in and give their thoughts. I need some help. So last night we did the trivia. Aaron and Iqbal both won. Aaron gave me a Twitter handle for me to contact him and get his info to send him his prizes. But when I put the Twitter handle in on Twitter, it didn't come up. It came up with somebody not named Aaron. So I don't know if that's the same person or not. So I can't get a hold of Aaron to get his info to send him his prizes for winning trivia. So Aaron, if you're listening, please head over to either Twitter and DM me at PW Unlimited, or email us at pwunlimitedstaff@gmail.com with your info. So that way we can get you your prizes and whatnot, because as of right now, only Iqbal's getting his prizes. So with that, wrap things up for the night. I want to say thank you to everybody who watched live, everybody who watched later right here on YouTube, or even listened over on iTunes. We will be live tomorrow with the why did I say SmackDown? That's weird. G1 Supercard review. Also, I want to thank everybody who watched the first 2 weeks of PWU Daily. We did the first 2 weeks of the show, and it's been going pretty good. It show's already evolved from what it started out as. Started out as a bare bones show, and I thought more about what I wanted the show to be, and now I'm adding more and more production value to it. So I want to thank everybody that has supported that show, PWU Daily, every Monday through Friday at roughly 11 a.m. Pacific, but I may be bumping that up starting next week to 9 a.m. That way it's 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. So again, thank you guys for watching tonight and listening to me ramble on about NXT TakeOver. And we'll do it all again. We'll ramble some more tomorrow about G1 Supercard. Have a great night, guys.